स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्या देशकारिणे वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यस्य च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते सप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So,
you do it. You do.
Hare Krishna. So we can start, Mataji, now.
Yes, Matisha.
My son did played up with my Zoom thing. Some background coming up with a fiery thing globe. I don't know.
You are giving class from different universities.
Yeah, obviously I'm in Australia now. Prabhu. This is a different world altogether. Okay, this is better. Okay, so I'll share the database. Everyone able to see this, right?
Yes, Matisha.
Okay, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge, verse 23. Ye api anya devata bhakta yajante shradhadanvitaha te api mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Anyone wants to recite?
Can I, Mataji?
Yes, please.
Hema here.
Yes, Hema Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, translation. Those who are devotees of other gods.
Mataji.
Sorry, Mataji.
You can recite the ones as well.
Then you have to, I'll repeat after you once again. Sorry, Mataji.
Ye api anya devata bhakta.
Ye api anya devata bhakta.
Yajante shradhadanvitaha.
Yajante shradhayanivitaha.
Te api mameva kaunteya.
Te api ma eva kaunteya.
Yajanti avidhi purvakam.
Yajanti avidhi purvakam. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. Can I continue with the purport, Mataji?
Yes, if you wish to, Mataji, it's a small.
Persons, Hare Krishna, persons who are engaged in the worship of demigods are not very intelligent, although such worship is offered to me indirectly. Krishna says, for example, when a man pours water on the leaves and the branches of a tree without pouring water on the root, he does so without sufficient knowledge or without observing regulative principles. Similarly, the process of rendering service to different parts of the body is to supply food to the stomach. The demigods are, so to speak, different officers and directors in the government of the Supreme Lord. One has to follow the laws made by the government, not by the officers or directors. Similarly, everyone is to offer his worship to the Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy the different officers and directors of the Lord. The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officers and directors is illegal. This is stated here as avidhi purvakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So this section is mainly, talking about the demigod worship, and we are trying to wrongly worship Krishna, means indirectly worshipping Krishna rather than directly worshipping him, or trying to understand the importance of worshipping him directly. So Krishna is trying to explain Arjuna about, initially he started glorifying the importance of this knowledge before you receive, and then he explained, all the Aishwarya Jnana, means how various energies of the Lord, itself, his relationship with the world, he explained, and then he now started explaining about different types of worshipping the Lord. So different people are there and they do him worship differently. And then there are initially started with fools who don't even consider him as a treat him as a person. They do impersonalist, and this type of worship is also there. They consider Krishna as ordinary man like that. And then later he discussed about these Ananya Bhaktas, the pure devotees who worship Krishna constantly with devotion, that he says. And then later he talk about this, three kinds of Gyanis who worship Krishna, who are cultivating knowledge and worshipping Krishna, like, Ekatvena, Pratatvena, Vishwatomukha, like that. So there are different types of worshippers. And then, different elements of sacrifices are also described earlier. And then, Krishna is actually, cause of all causes, is pervading everywhere. Ultimate shelter is Krishna only. We understood in previous verses. And then demigod worship is there. Different demigod worshippers will lead to different, destinations, attaining heavenly planets or coming back to earth or like that. And then 22nd was just before, how pure devotees, they always been protected by the Lord. Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. He explained there clearly. So, whoever devotees approach Krishna, Kshema is guaranteed. Merciful protection is there. So, devotees achieve that by practicing Krishna consciousness. This is, this Bhakti Yoga is linking our connection with the Lord through yoga. So that is, one who becomes fully Krishna consciousness, they don't have any fear of, undue problems in this material world. So they always been protected by the Lord, and they've been, Krishna protects them from falling down to this miserable conditioned life, and always, be there with them. So they realize, Bhakti yogis, they always, each and every step with pure devotion, when they render service, they understand this aspect. Now here Krishna is explaining about the persons who actually don't engage in the worship of they are engaged in the worshipping of demigods. And Prabhupada is clearly saying that these are the people, they are not intelligent. They, although such worship is offered to me indirectly. Krishna says indirectly it's been offered. The example Prabhupada said, a man pours water on the leaves and branches without pouring, water on the root. So then, they don't have a proper understanding, poor fund of knowledge. That makes them to not understand they don't follow the regulative principles, or they don't understand the principles given in Bhagavad Gita, like that. So similarly, when we render services to, like an example of this, I think earlier also I mentioned, if you want to feed your stomach, you feed your stomach through your mouth. You don't feed your hand and eyes and ears and mouth like that. That is not nourished to you anyway. So you have to do like that whatever is the protocol, you have to follow. But demigods, they are like different they're heading different departments and different branches, different officers and directors of this government department, like that. Just like how we have a hierarchy in our structure in the government official this thing. Supreme Lord has also, he's like a, he's in the spiritual world, and he need not do anything by himself. He just expand himself with his different energies, and then, through that, expansion, plenary expansions only, Krishna will, manifest in different forms, and through different agents, everything is been going, happening. And then one has to, in our material world, we always, certain rules are there in the society or to the government, we follow, and then we have to, abide those rules, and we just follow that, so that we are, safe, like that. So similarly, if you follow our rules and regulations of, how we have to, follow these principles, no meat eating, no illicit, no gambling, we have to do that and worship Supreme Lord accordingly. And Krishna is providing us everything. all the facilities are given to us. Without offering Krishna back, it's just you are merely eating sin. This we discussed in the previous chapters also initially, third chapter and all it comes there. So we have to make sure that, whatever is Krishna giving us, we as in out of gratitude, we are offering it to Krishna and taking only remnants of that, mm, you know, prasad. So that Mahaprasad. So like that, we have to do that. Similarly, we worship Supreme Lord and any demigod for that matter, if they understand that we are worshipping the Lord, they will be very pleased and they will be, accordingly rewarding us to achieve Krishna Bhakti. Like for example, we have, Parikshit Maharaj. When Parikshit Maharaj is leaving this planet Earth, then all the demigods showered flowers. So it's a glorious death of Parikshit Maharaj. So they all pleased with this, hearing Krishna Katha, he left. So then, when there is, Arjuna also, Arjuna, when he went to celestial planets, Indra gave him nice boons, and then, Shiva gave Pashupata Astra. Like that, he got different demigods gave him different boons so that, at that point of time when he really required them, he able to use those astras and all that. So they got it from the demigods. So like that, even other example like various examples are there which we demigod shower their mercy and then they get Krishna bhakti like that. So each and every step we see that. So Supreme Lord is sanctioning everything through his agents, but devotee who is pure and worshipping the Lord, then the demigods will be pleased also. Like any of the rituals we have in our family, according to our family history or background, we do some small pujas, this, that, and all. It is mentioned that, His Holiness Banu Maharaj once shared this with us here when he visited, that someone asked, if they worship this Kali puja, Durgashtami, and then some other festivals. What is this, do we offer it to them and eat or honor it, or how do we do? Then Maharaj clearly explained that better is to offer to Krishna, and then whatever is there after you offer to those demigods, then demigods will be pleased and they will accordingly, reward you to the highest purpose of your life. So rather than, just directly offering them, you may get those mere benefits, whatever is good to get the benefits in this material world. But if you offer to Krishna and offer to them, they will be satisfied. Actually, they also getting the remnants of Krishna, and that makes them more happy than directly accepting what we are offering. So like that, here it is said, Supreme Lord, if everyone is to offer worship Supreme Lord only, that will automatically satisfy different officers and directors of the Lord. So the officers and directors are engaged, they are representatives of the government. Like that, there is a simple example if you want to understand, like someone has to pay some income tax to the government, and then a person may think that, okay, I will not pay 10,000 rupees or dollars, whatever, I will pay half of it, and then he may bribe a officer to give some of it, and then you will think he will get rid of it. But eventually it's better you pay that whatever you are supposed to, rather than just pay little bribe to that officer and get rid of it, because it has become illegal and then you will be caught sometimes, who knows, then it's better not to bribe and get into problems. So like that, these officers and directors, they're engaged representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe like this, whatever we are offering some bhoga to them, offerings to them, it's like offering this bribe to the officers. It's not legal. So it is avidhi purvakam also is, means the avidhi purvakam means, the right way of doing it is growing a plant by watering the root of the plant and not the leaves and branches. If you do leaves and branches watering, you will never see the tree growth. So the right way of nourishing the body is to feed the body the food through stomach, not through limbs of the body. Similarly, the right way of worshipping Supreme Lord is to serve Him directly, not to demigod, the representatives of managing this world, who are actually agents of the Lord. So, like that, Prabhupada is giving that worshipping demigods is a wrong way of worshipping Krishna, and thus they return back to this material world. This entanglement continues in this vicious cycle. When they take birth, new birth, 8.4 million species, they keep on going like that. So this demigod worship is a wrong way of worshipping Krishna. Yes. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with full faith, actually worshipping me only, Krishna is telling. But they are doing in a wrong way. Proper understanding is required to worship the Lord. Like that he is enlightening Arjuna. Yeah. This is straightforward purport, right? Anyone has any questions or things to share or comment or?
Hare Krishna, Subharao Prabhuji, please can you be on mute?
Someone can hear the chanting of the Lord's name. So all good, Matajis and Prabhujis, can we go to the next verse?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
So 24th verse. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha natu mam avijnananti tatve nataschavanti. Anybody wants to read?
Amai Mataji.
Yes, sorry, this side.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Chale.
Yes, please, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Aham ye sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natu mama vijanante tatve nachascha vantite. Shall I read translation, Mataji?
Yeah. Yes, go ahead, Prabhu.
Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhu Swamiji, Prabhupada ki jai. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize me, true transcendental nature, fall down. Shall I continue purport, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu, yeah.
Purport by Sri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Here it is clearly stated that there are many types of yajna performance recommended in the Vedic literatures. But actually all of them are meant for satisfying the Supreme Lord. Yajna means Vishnu. In the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that one should only work for satisfying Yajna or Vishnu. The perfectional form of human civilization, known as Varnashrama Dharma, is specially meant for satisfying Vishnu. Therefore, Krishna says in this verse, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices because I am the Supreme Master. Less intelligent persons, however, without knowing this fact, worship demigods for temporary benefit. Therefore, they fall down to material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had better pray for it to the Supreme Lord, although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired result. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So here, Krishna is, is actually, everything what we do, all the acts which we do is meant to satisfy Krishna. And Krishna is telling, Aham hi sarva yajnanam. He says, I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. And he also says that Bhokta cha Prabhurevacha. So gives all the results. Through the demigods he is giving, but he is giving all the results. And then Natumem abhijnanati. Therefore, those who don't recognize me, my true transcendental nature, they actually what happens? They'll fall down. So that is the main problem. Yeah, Krishna is still saying that, those who don't recognize my transcendental nature, they'll fall down. So we endeavor, after so much of endeavor, if we just fall down to material existence again, we don't achieve the desired result of, goal of our life is to go back to the Godhead. So they don't know Krishna is a supreme enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Unfortunately, the people who are interested in worshipping demigod, they're going ahead like that. So, but Krishna is telling it actually Yajna is who means Vishnu, and he is the benefactor of all Vishnu, which is mentioned in chapter 3, verse 9. Just for refreshing memory, I'll just go there, chapter 3, verse 9, and read that what's there in there. So, chapter 3, verse 9 is this now. Yajnartho karmano nyata lokoham karma bandhanaha tad artham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. So work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. So Krishna clearly already mentioned in third chapter, and Arjuna is mentioning it again, that one has to work simply maintaining our body and soul together, and then you do prescribed duties according to your social status or position, or like that, and then offer everything to Krishna. All sacrifices, performances are meant to satisfy Krishna. So in other words, you have to serve whichever yajnas you do, directly you are serving Lord Vishnu. So when we perform yajnas also, we will mainly take the Lord's name, Vishnu only we offer. So that is the main thing. One has to satisfy Vishnu. Any work done in this material world will cause bondage if you don't sacrifice. Both good and evil work is being, reactions of our work, and then it binds us as performing that work like that. So therefore, one has to work in that proper consciousness, understanding that, satisfying Krishna or Vishnu while performing our activities, and that will help us to, reach to the liberated stage, get liberated from all this doing all sorts of work. So we need diligently, we have to take expert guidance and then diligently act, and then under the instructions of Supreme Lords, if you follow and then do, then it is an intelligent way of doing it. So therefore, demigod worshippers, they may fall down and do not achieve the desired goal because they're less intelligent, and they take to this path, and then even if they have material desires also, it's better to worship Krishna. That's what it is meant to actually. If you worship Krishna, if you have material desires also, he will fulfill all your desires. So there is another verse in Srimad Bhagavatam also quoting that. I think Canto 2, chapter 10. Oh, sorry, Canto 2, verse 10. So it says, let me just see if I can read it. One point 2.10, I think. Yeah, so I'm not able to find that, but yeah, so one should not, if you have lack of knowledge, then it's hard to worship Lord, and we will just keep coming back to this material world. So less intelligent persons, without knowing this fact, they may worship demigods, and they may get temporary benefit, and then they don't achieve the desired goal. So anyone who have material, what is this verse? Moksha kama tivre what is this verse? Not able, immediately not able to remember. Sorry. Kaliyuga
I have it, Mataji, 1.2.10.
You want to
Kamasya
add?
Nendriya Pritir
No, no,
Labdo Jeta. Is that the one?
no, not that one actually. I think it is Canto 2, maybe not that. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajanti vidipurvakam, like that, like if you have material desires or spiritual desires, whatever you have, you just worship me, and then I will record you matter. Akama moksha kama. So you can find out, like, this is the verse. Akama moksha kama tivrena bhakti. It's from
1 to 10 says one should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation. Since a human being is meant for inquiry about absolute truth, nothing else should be the goal of one's works.
Yeah, it's not 1 to 10, Mataji. So I will quote it. Maybe I'll remember soon. So just give me. So this is what it is. So whatever desires you have, material or spiritual, he will fulfill it. So if you have a material desire, you may approach some demigod, right? Generally we do that. If you have a desire to get boons quickly, then you will worship Lord Shiva. Then he is, Ashatosha and, easily pleased, and he will give you. If you have some desire to get rid of the obstacles, you will worship Ganesha and he will get rid of that. So, these are all desires fulfilled by the Supreme Lord. He is only actually sanctioning that through the agents of the Lord, and they are fulfilling it. But if the desire is good or not good, we don't know. If we asked it, then they give us. Then if it's not good, also we will, face the consequences. But if you actually, approach Lord Krishna, sometimes the desires may not be fulfilled. He will give you all the desires, but if it is not fulfilled, we have to understand that it's actually not good for us in our, path of bhakti. So he will ask us to wait. So we realize it in that process of waiting that, okay, this is the reason I would not get it. So that's okay. We'll keep going. So that's why you purify our senses, and then slowly, you develop that love for the Lord, and you continue your worship. So any desire you have, material desire or spiritual desire, or anything you want in this world, Krishna is there, to fulfill like that. So you have better pray for him only. Although you don't have pure devotion, like either they are mixed devotees, they are actually non-devotees, not interested, or they are pure devotees, like this only. So whoever is there, you worship Krishna, then you will get a desired result. That's what Krishna is telling. So I will hopefully, my memory is straight. Before we finish, I'll quote that verse. So we'll go to
Mataji?
20. Yeah.
Mataji,
Akama Moksha Kama is the
you're talking
beginning.
about the Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, you're talking about the Akama Sarvakamo. That shloka, Mataji.
Correct. Yeah.
It's 2, 3, 10, Mataji.
2, 3, 10. Yeah. Okay. Thank you
Yes,
for
Mataji.
refreshing my memory. 2, 3, 10. So you have it in with you to read, or you want me to read?
If you have Mataji, please carry on. I have taken Mataji.
Okay. That's good. Yeah. So 2, 3, 10 is clearly explaining that. I thought 1, 2.
I have it here, Mataji. A person who has border intelligence, whether he is full of all material desire, without any material desire or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead.
Yeah. So this is a beautiful verse. I'll read it. Akama sarva kama moksha kama udaridhi tivrena bhakti yogena yachate purusham param. So I was remembering here and there. So thank you. I just want to refresh the memory. So yeah, so broader intelligence, he will have to, whether he'll be full of all material desire or without any material desire or desiring liberation, all these things, by all means, worshipping Supreme Lord, and he is the one who can sanction this. So like that only, Prabhupada in this verse, in the end, he says that, what was he saying? Like, whatever you have, material desires or anything, see here, yeah. That's not this one, right? Yeah. So yeah, if however anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had to better pray for it to be through Supreme Lord. Although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired. So yeah, so we start with somewhere, but nowhere to somewhere to desired goal, like that. So it's important to always think of Krishna and worship anything he will give. So we'll go to 25.
Mataji, may I read?
Yes, please read.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrun yanti pitruvrataha bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti matyajine bhima. Translation means celebrate Divine Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings, and those who worship me will live with me. Purport, Mataji, purport?
Yeah.
Yeah. May I read, Mataji, purport?
Yeah.
Yeah. If one has any desire to go to the moon, the sun, or any other planet, one can attain the desired destination by following specific Vedic principles recommended for the purpose, such as the process technically known as Darsha Purnamasa. These are vividly described in the fruitive activities portion of the Vedas, which recommends a specific worship of demigods situated on different heavenly planets. Similarly, one can attain the Pitha planets by performing a specific yajna. Similarly, one can go to many ghost planets and become a yaksha, raksha, or pisacha. Pisacha worship is called black arts or black magic. There are many men who practice this black art and they think that it is spiritualism. But such activities are completely materialistic. Similarly, a pure devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead only achieves the planets of Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka without a doubt. It is very easy to understand through this important verse that if by simply worshipping the demigods one can achieve the heavenly planets, or by worshipping the Pithas achieve the Pitha planets, or by practicing the black arts achieve the ghostly planets, why can the pure devotees, Mataji, scroll up Mataji little. Pure devotee not achieve the planet of Krishna? Why can the pure devotee not achieve the planet of Krishna or Vishnu? Unfortunately, many people have no information of these sublime planets where Krishna and Vishnu live. And because they do not know of them, they fall down. Even the impersonalists fall down from the Brahma Jyotir. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the entire human society to the effect that by simply chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become perfect in this life and go back to Godhead.
I was remembering in the previous verse, 24th verse, we have the example of, all the gopis, they are performing this Katyayana Vrat, right? So they were performing this Katyayana Vrat because they are just asking for the Supreme Lord as a husband. So that is there, and then Rukmini also, she worship Ambika. So worshipping Ambika, asking for, Lord himself as her, husband. So if at all you approach a demigod and you ask for pure Krishna Bhakti, that will be guaranteed. So like that, if you approach a demigod with a pure intention of doing Krishna Bhakti or progress in the path of Krishna, they'll be pleased. And that is the best way to ask the demigods, or if at all you want to worship demigod, any other festivals you worship such particular demigod, you can seek their mercy through like this, to attain Krishna Bhakti. Just wanted to add that point which I remembered. So here what it is telling is that, Krishna is telling different types of worship is there and they reach different destinations. They have all these demigods worshipping, and so those who worship demigods, they go to the planet of those demigods only. Yanti Deva, Vratan Deva. And those who worship ancestors, Pitrun Yanti Pitrun Vata. So they go to that particular destination, and then those who worship ghosts, they take birth in among the ghosts, like that. Bhutani Yanti Bhutegnya, like that. And those who worship me, they come to me. And there's no rebirth when you go to Krishna. So like that, if one has to desire to go to moon, Prabhupada says this moon, sun, or any other planet, they attain that destination by following that particular, rules and regulations, whatever is required, you go. Let's say you want to go to Singapore, we have to catch a flight which goes to Singapore only. And then we will reach the destination. Similarly, we want to go to India, we'll catch a flight to India, reach the destination. So we don't reach a different destination with a different ticket, right? Wherever we are destined to, we'll go. So like that, these Vedic principles recommended for that purpose. If you follow, then you just reach that destination only. So these are, specific worship of demigods is situated, whatever demigod you worship, different heavenly planets are situated, and accordingly, that worship you will lead to that particular heavenly planets. So similarly, Prabhupada is telling Pitas, the planetary, their specific yajnas you do, and then you go to that, and then you ghostly planets, you become Yaksha, Raksha, Pichacha, like that. Pichachas were, what happens, they are worshipping black arts, black magic they do. We might have seen in remote villages in India, here and there, we hear like that. Yeah. So there are people who practice this black art, and then such activities will, Prabhupada says, completely materialistic, but yeah. So they reach that. The pure devotee worship Supreme Lord and achieve the planet of Vaikuntha or Krishna Loka. This is no doubt. It's very easy to understand that, simply worshipping demigods, one can achieve heavenly planets, worshipping Buddhas, achieve those planets, and black art achieve the
Hare
costly
Krishna
planets.
Mataji.
Yeah.
மாதாஜி வீட்ல இருக்கீங்களா இல்ல வெளியில இருக்கீங்களா மாதாஜி? பேசலாமா?
I can understand. Someone asking me page number?
No, Mataji. No, Mataji. She was talking on the phone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I think maybe, sorry, I thought a question here. Unfortunately, people who have no information about these planets, and then, where Krishna and Vishnu live, they don't have any knowledge, and they end up worshipping all other forms of the Lord, and then unfortunately they fall down. So, example, Prabhupada says even impersonalists, they fall down from Brahma Jyoti also. So, Krishna conscious movement is like that, it's a sublime. And we have got a lot of information given in any temple you go. Main focus is on sharing the knowledge. I mean, initially when I was not into Krishna consciousness, I used to visit temples. But when you go to temple, what is there? All is you take a coconut and break there, and Pujari will put some, he will give some, what is that, kumkum and haldi and all. You take it, and then some flowers he may give, offered ones. You take it, put in your hair, and then, take some charnamrut and arati, you take it, all this, and you come. That's it. Nothing else is there. And it's like, someone don't have knowledge, why they are going also, they don't know. Just circumambulate the temple is, and all you do, which is ritualistic way of doing it. There's nothing else. But if you, honestly, if you have a knowledge about, why we are worshipping, why we are going, and all that information, then we do with wholehearted, like that. So in Krishna conscious movement, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we have got nice books to understand the scriptures and understand, how, love can be expressed. Just like that, going is okay, but it is more expressive if you just understand and do it, right? You love someone, that person, and then that itself is not enough. You have to understand more about that person, what he likes to eat, or what he or she likes to, wear, or, particular details you understand, and then you accordingly, please them, then it is more satisfying too, and then that loving exchange is more meaningful. So like that, Krishna conscious movement is therefore giving this important, sublime knowledge to all of us. And, effectively, by chanting the Lord's name, which is Kali Yuga Dharma. And then Krishna himself came into this material world, and he showed us with an example how to actually, chant, and how to actually deal with the devotees, and how we have to actually perfect our lives and go back to Godhead. He showed with his example. So like that, if you chant Mahamantra, follow four regulative principles, and then, eat only the food offered to the Lord, then, then no sin will be incurred. And then you perfect your life and go back. So this is important. Our destination depends upon our choice. We accept a certain object of worship, and we worship that, and then you go there. A best choice is very important. However, best choice is worshipping Krishna. It's very important. So, Krishna elaborates more in the next verse how, exclusively worshipping him like that, that he is established as an enjoyer of the sacrifices which we offer. And he reveals, what type of the offerings he actually, desires or likes, or whichever way he accepts. That and all he will explain in detail in the next verse. But yeah, our understanding should be clear that what we do is, the reaction is there, whatever we do. Worshipping any form path to lead to the same goal is actually not accepted. It's not, it doesn't go to same goal. Just like I said, if you buy a ticket to Singapore, you go to Singapore only. You don't go to Malaysia or India. You go to there only. So like that, you worship a particular demigod, you go there only. Worship Bhuta Peta Prichata, you go there only. Like that, Prabhupada is giving us information. So pure devotees worship Supreme Lord, and try to achieve the Vaikuntha. That should be the goal. And then no doubt they will achieve it. With the pure intention, if you worship the Lord, they will achieve it. Like that, you know. So Hare Krishna Mataji. You have a question, Mataji, or you want to share something?
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I read next verse?
Yeah, you can take it.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tad aham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayat atmana. Translation: if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Purport: for the intelligent person, it is essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord in order to achieve a permanent blissful abode for eternal happiness. The process of achieving such a marvelous result is very easy and can be attempted even by the poorest of the poor without any kind of qualification. The only qualification required in this connection is to be a pure devotee of the Lord. It does not matter what one is or where one is situated. The process is so easy that even a leaf or a little water or fruit can be offered to the Supreme Lord in genuine love, and the Lord will be pleased to accept it. No one, therefore, can be barred from the Krishna consciousness because it is so easy and universal. Who is such a fool that he does not want to be Krishna conscious by this simple method and thus attain the highest perfectional life of eternity, bliss and knowledge? Krishna wants only loving service and nothing more. Krishna accepts even a little flower from his pure devotee. He does not want any kind of offering from a non-devotee. He is not in need of anything from anyone because he is self-sufficient, and yet he accepts the offering of his devotee in an exchange of love and affection. To develop Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of life. Bhakti is mentioned twice in this verse in order to declare more empathetically that bhakti or devotional service is the only means to approach Krishna. No other condition, such as becoming a Brahmana, a learned scholar, a very rich man, or a great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. Without the basic principle of bhakti, nothing can induce the Lord to agree to accept anything from anyone. Bhakti is never casual. The process is eternal. It is direct action in service to the absolute whole. Here Lord Krishna, having established that he is the only enjoyer, the primeval Lord and the real object of all sacrificial offerings, reveals that what types of sacrifices he desires to be offered. If one wishes to engage in devotional service to the Supreme in order to be purified and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, then one should find out what the Lord desires of him. One who loves Krishna will give him whatever he wants, and he avoids offering anything which is undesirable or unasked. Thus, meat, fish, and egg should not be offered to Krishna. If he desires such thing as offering, he would have said so. Instead, he clearly requests that a leaf, fruit, flower, and water to be given to him. And he says of this offering, I will accept it. Therefore, we should understand that he will not accept meat, fish, and egg. Vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water are the proper foods for human beings and are prescribed by Lord Krishna himself. Whatever else we eat cannot be offered to him, since he will not accept it. Thus, we cannot be acting on the level of loving devotion if we offer such foods. In the third chapter, verse 13, Sri Krishna explained that only the remains of sacrifice and purified and fit for consumption by those who are seeking advancement in life and release from the clutches of the material entanglement. Those who do not make an offering of their food, he says in the same verse, are eating only sin. In other words, their every mouthful is simply deepening their involvement in the complexities of material nature. But preparing nice, simple vegetable dishes, offering them before the picture or deity of Lord Krishna, and bowing down and praying for him to accept such a humble offering enable one to advance steadily in life, to purify the body, and to create fine brain tissue, which will lead to clear thinking. Above all, the offering should be made with an attitude of love. Krishna has no need of food, since he already possesses everything that be. Yet he will accept the offering of one who desires to please him in that way. The important element in preparation, in serving and offering is to act with love for Krishna. The impersonalist philosophers who wish to maintain that the absolute truth is without senses cannot comprehend this verse of Bhagavad Gita. To them, it is either a metaphor or proof of the mundane character of Krishna, the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita. But in actuality, Krishna, the Supreme Godhead, has senses, and it is stated that his senses are interchangeable. In other words, one sense can perform the function of any other. That is what it means to say that Krishna is absolute. Lacking senses, he could hardly be considered full in all opulences. In the 7th chapter, Krishna has explained that he impregnates the living entity into material nature. This is done by his looking upon material nature. And so in this instance, Krishna, hearing the devotee words of love in offering foodstuff, is wholly identical with his eating and actually tasting. This point should be emphasized because of his absolute position. His hearing is wholly identical with his eating and tasting. Only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he described himself without interpretation can understand that the supreme absolute truth can eat food and enjoy it. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, so there are beautiful points here. This section is mainly starting with understanding that, the glories of worshipping the Supreme Lord directly. What is it, the benefits you get? Simplicity is there in performing our bhakti. And Krishna accepts whatever you perform with devotion, whatever you offer to him with devotion. So in translation, Krishna says, if one offers me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or a water, he will accept it. So Krishna requests, all of us to worship him with devotion, using, leaf, water, flower, fruit, like that. Or one can offer, Krishna some austerities, charities. Such offerings will free us from reactions of our birth. But one's mind, if it is fixed on Krishna, then that worshipper, fixed on Krishna, and with this kind of devotion, if they do, then that worshipper, will come to Krishna, like that, go to Krishna, like that. So there is no other qualification required to worship Krishna. The only qualification is to love. Love is the only qualification to serve Krishna. So Krishna is actually has everything. He is the one who is providing all these facilities. If that fruit, water, flower, and leaf is also coming from him only, and he's self-sufficient. He don't need of anything actually from any one of us. But yet when we offer these things, he accepts it, because the pure devotion he's seeing in our heart, And that is, that exchange of that love and affection is what he is looking for. And then that way he will be pleased. Just say that if you think about a simple example, like if you have given some pocket money to your son or a daughter, and then on your birthday or some other event, if they really get some nice gift and give you, you feel very happy, right? And that pocket money is actually given by you only. That itself, again, they are offering it to you, makes you feel happy. So this is that exchange of love is what is made you to be happy with them. So similarly, Krishna is giving everything to us. This is all the facilities are provided for us to independently enjoy. Kindly is provided. So with that love and affection, if you offer him anything in according to your capacity, just you have let's say you're very wealthy and you're opulent and you can do opulent offerings, you should not hesitate to do that. Don't restrict to only this leaf, flower, fruit, water and say this is what said in Bhagavad Gita, so I'll do this and hide everything. So Krishna can see that also. So according to your status, your situation, your circumstance, your family, whatever, try to go to the maximum capacity, to the best of your ability, offer the best to the Lord, then he will really understand your bhava. So this is what, he is bhava grahi janardana. He'll accept that. So like that, it is easily achieved, and it's, rest of the poor can do, attain Krishna Bhakti, or rich also can attain Krishna Bhakti, medicore also, average person, everyone. So the purity is what Krishna is seeing in us, that Bhakti, a purity. And then no other motivations, like pure devotees, they offer and then they don't expect anything in return. They just offer. Whatever they expect in return is that they seek more, service or more blessings of the Lord or mercy of the Lord, so that they continue to do more and more like that, whatever they've been doing. And consistency and like that, they ask that only, nothing else from Krishna. So no other motivations in serving the Lord. So he never serve like that with ill intentions or no uninterrupted, unmotivated. Hetuki apratihata. That's what a devotee with love and devotion do. So like that, Prabhupada is mentioned here, there's no qualification. Without any qualification, just the love itself is important. The connection, only qualification required in this connection to be pure devotee of the Lord. That is, doesn't matter if one is, wherever they are situated. So they can give little water, fruit, anything that pleases Krishna, and then, what else is said, they will attain this highest perfection of life, eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Krishna wants only loving service. So he doesn't want any kind of offerings from a non-devotee. Said here. So he is not in need of anything from anyone. He's self-sufficient. That's why he doesn't want anything from a non-devotee. Like that he says, any devotee who is, in exchange of love and affection offering, then that is the way you can perfect your life. And then Prabhupada mentioned bhakti here 2 times in order to declare, make us more emphasis was given on that, devotional service. That's the only way to approach Krishna. There is Navavidha Bhakti. We can, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, all that, different ways of worshipping the Lord is there. And then, there's nothing else required. No other conditioning is required. There's one small story. There is one Brahmana is in a village called Pratisthanapur. He's a poor Brahmana. He actually, attends some Bhagavad Gita. He attends there, and then in that discourse, he hears that, Krishna is a poor Brahmana. He can't offer. But he understands that, in that conversation, in the discussion, it is mentioned that, one can mentally also offer to Krishna if you don't have any facilities to offer. He is a really very poor Brahmana. And so what he thought is that, this is the best thing he can do it to the Lord. So he goes to the nearby river and he takes bath and he purifies himself and he starts meditating. He's a very pure devotee of the Lord. So he just meditates and he remembers all what is been discussed in that Krishna Katha, and then accordingly he meditates, he invites, invoke all the mantras, and he invites this, in the meditation only he's getting this, gold vessels, and then he's filling with water, filling with milk and all this, offering everything. And he wants to make various preparations. He makes that, and then in that he makes a sweet rice, and then in that only is thinking, in meditation only is thinking, okay, let me offer this sweet rice to the Lord when it is little bit cooled down, whether it is too hot or too cold. He wants to understand, and he put his finger to touch, and then, his finger really gets burned when you touch it, is in that meditation, pure bhakti. And then in Vaikuntha, Lord Vishnu is laughing, and then suddenly, Lakshmi Devi understands, why are you laughing like that? And he said, this is what's happening. And then she's really pleased, they are very happy with his pure devotion. And they said, now he should come to Vaikuntha, he can't stay there, he's doing such a nice offering to you. Then Krishna, Vishnu actually sends Vishnudas and sends Pushpak Viman where he can come to Vaikuntha and continue his devotional service like that. So, for Brahmana, he is doing that. So, anyone, no any conditioning you are, learned scholar, a rich man, or a Brahmana, or a philosopher, anyone, Krishna will accept with your love and devotion if you do that. Basic principle of bhakti is nothing else but love. So like that. So like that, it is Prabhupada is giving the information here. He is the enjoyer, he is the primeval Lord. Like that, he accepts all the sacrifices, all the desires, whatever he desires to be offered. So it's not like, you can't offer the Lord meat, fish, eggs, and like that, because Krishna don't eat. So he offer only what he eats. Rasgulla, sandesh, barfi, gulab jamun, whatever can be done in a sattvic way, that is, directly getting, fruits and vegetables, all things which you get, to some extent better to avoid frozen also, like anything fresh and to the best of its quality, if you can offer with your ability, whatever, just do that, because how you and me also can't eat which you don't like, right? Similarly, we can't offer something which Krishna don't accept. So you accept only offerings which Krishna is desiring to have. So that way also you can, please him nicely. So that, Prabhupada says that one can understand that he will not accept meat, fish, and eggs. Vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water are the proper foods for human beings and are prescribed by the Lord himself. So actually also human beings what is that anatomy? It's not designed to digest all this actually. The teeth is also not designed to chew like that kind of, meat or fish or eggs like that, and the digestive capacity is not good. The intestine is also not designed in such a way that, large intestine is not designed in such a way that you can digest all that. But it's always better to accept what is mentioned in the Shastra and offer that only to the Lord, rather than offering something which you cannot accept it. So that is, love means only what they like, you do it, not like what you love to you do it and impose that on them to accept it. It's not possible. You can't forcefully make someone to love you without doing whatever you feel like. You have to do what they like, and then that way it helps you to, develop that relationship and love the person also in general. So like that, Supreme Lord also offer what is acceptable by the Lord only, not something what you love to do it. And in a similar way, when you serve your spiritual master also, you see what their needs and requirements are there, or their diet is. Accordingly, you have to serve them. Not that you want to make this nice preparation, you are expert in this and make it and feed it. Not like that. So you have to understand their intentions and what they love. That only you have to accordingly serve, so that they will be pleased and you will get the Krishna bhakti or mercy. So like that. So yeah, so the advancement of life is happening like that, because he's the one who is accepting all the sacrifices, and then the purification happens. Just like that, if you have the vegetables, fruits, you just get and buy and cook and eat, that is sin again. So purification has to happen. That means it is Krishnaized. Whatever you are making it and offering and then eating, it is everything is spiritualized, scantified, like that. So you have to do that. Otherwise, you are making what he says here. Those who do not make an offering of their food, he says, are eating only sin. In other words, is simply, you're trying to every mouthful is simply deepening their involvement in the complexities of material nature. Means it's in making into entangle in this material world and come back to this material world again and again and take birth again, like that. So Prabhupada says simply prepare nice, sweet, simple vegetable dishes and offer to them. Like that, you go down and pray for him and offer, then Krishna accepts, and then that will purify you, or purifies the brain tissues, and that leads to clear thinking, and that offering is important. So attitude of love is what Krishna is saying there. Krishna no need to be fed. He don't need actually. So, you know, Yashodamai also in Damodar Leela, you see, she is churning the butter. She don't need to churn it. There are so many people who can do that, but she is doing it because she wants to give the best quality of butter to Lord. So she's doing it. This is love for her. Her love she wants to, you know, express to the Lord when she's preparing like that. So, like that, you know, we will have to, you know, accept the he will accept the offerings which we desire to please him, and in that way he will do it. So important element in serving and offering is love for Krishna. So like that. So Prabhupada again mentions here there's an impersonalist philosophers who wish to maintain absolute truth is without senses, and then that is not possible. So, you do the offering, and then his offering is there in front of the Lord, and you see the offering is there like that only. You don't see any diminutions or additions there. It's as it is there. Some people may have a problem understanding. Okay, how come Krishna ate this? You may think. But here it is Prabhupada clearly says, Supreme Lord has senses, and each senses can be worked interchangeably. That means with his glance only he can just impregnate this material nature. Then all the universes are created like that. With his glance also he can eat. With his touch of this hand also he can just taste the prasad. You don't need to use his tongue. Just like how we have to really take from the hand and put in the tongue and then it chew it and then it will go into stomach and nourish all that. No way. It's either hearing also it is possible for him. Just using ears, using eyes, using any of his senses, he can taste the prasad, bhoga what you offer. So like that it is interchangeable, and then one sense can perform the function of any other, like that. So Krishna is absolute like that. It's hard for anyone to understand who was impersonalist, especially. They could not understand that full opulences of the Lord like that. And Krishna has impregnated the living entities into the material nature by glance only, like that, looking at like. So Krishna hearing, devotees' words of love is also, in offering foodstuffs is, identical with eating and actually tasting like that. So like that, we express our prayers to the Lord. I know Krishna will be pleased. Even when we do Krishna Katha, pure devotees release Krishna Katha. They don't need to actually release tasting Krishna Prasad. Krishna Katha is itself for them as a nice appetizer. What is that? Feast for the eyes, they say. So it's like that. So when really eating itself is not like someone who cook with full love and devotion, their stomach is actually satisfied. They don't need to eat. When they feed everybody, you must have realized it. When you feed everyone in the family, if they are happy with your preparation, you feel as if you have eaten only. It's a full satisfaction. So it's like that. Krishna no need to actually use his hand only to eat or partake. Yoga is just whatever you senses is just interchangeable and he will accept. So this point is it's emphasized here that Krishna in absolute position is that his hearing is wholly identical with his eating and tasting. So only devotee is accepts Krishna as described here like that as Krishna without misinterpreting and just surrender to Krishna without any second thoughts, and they understand that Supreme Lord Krishna can eat food and enjoy it by any means. So like that when we offer also we accept like that as a Krishna Prasad, and then you see the difference also when you offered. Like sometimes when I go to my hometown, then some people may eat onion garlic, but I didn't eat fortunately from childhood, but some of my relatives do, and then they get surprised. How do you eat onion garlic? And first of all, okay, onion garlic not eating is okay, but how do you make this whatever you cook so tasty without even tasting it, and then it becomes so tasty because you offer to Krishna, and then it is understood that when you offer to Krishna, it's not just directly going, you're making prayers and then, your guru is offering his guru. Like that, it is going to Srimati Radharani and Radharani is offering to Krishna. And then again from, Radharani to disciplic succession. Like that, we are getting it, the remnants, and then we are taking that. So when it reaches to Radharani, actually, she makes sure she understands our love and devotion, but she makes sure this is perfect. So she might taste a little bit and see what it is, and then she add and then offer to Krishna and come back. So we get it. So even if salt is less or sugar is more or spice is more, it will be tasty actually, Krishna Prasad. So how is this? Because it was tasted by the Lord. That's why. And it is coming through Radharani and the mercy we are receiving. So that's why it's purification to our body, and whole body nourishes, and like how Prabhupada said that you purify the body and then advance steadily in life, and then create fine brain tissues which will lead to clear thinking. This and all will offer if you do humble offering to the Lord. This will actually happens. So, very important. Bowing down to Krishna, praying, and then offering, and then getting rid of the sins which whatever you are accumulating knowingly or unknowingly. So offering with love and devotion is very important, and any of these items you can do it, and he said he will accept it like that. Yeah. And then we have examples from pastimes also, like what is this Sudama pastime. The Sudama didn't ask anything. He just took the cheap rice, he borrowed it from the neighboring people, and he gave, and he didn't ask anything, but Sudama got in return a lot of wealth, big palace and lots of servants to help his wife. All that happened. Krishna abundantly gave profusely like that. Yeah. And you have a fruit vendor in the Krishna Leela. Fruit vendor gives the fruits to the Krishna, whatever barter system happened, some grains gave. She didn't ask anything in return, but Krishna gave lots of jewels and everything, whatever she didn't expect also. So with love and devotion you offer, Krishna will give you whatever is required. More than that he will. Yeah. So mainly, there is a difference between, there is a demigod worship is different to Krishna worship. Demigod worship is simply, it is an exchange of, it's a deal. You do this, I will give this, like that. That's something. But in terms of, Krishna's, your devotion to Krishna, it is a personal loving relationship you are exchanging, like that. And then when you do demigod worship, you are actually impelled to some motivations are there, some kind of unwanted desires are there. But here in Krishna Bhakti, it's all impelled by selfless desires. There's nothing there other than that pleasing Krishna, like that. And then in demigod worship, there's some kind of rituals, regulations, rules, and all that. Here there are no material conditions like that. Means rich, poor, whatever everyone can do, and no time, place, circumstance. All this is there. And demigod worship sometimes very complex and specific qualifications needed to do that. But spiritual world, Krishna worship, simple, universal, open to all, no qualification other than love. So, and then, then after that, demigod worship, there is actually no establishment of relationship with the worshipper. You give and take, that's it. You ask for it, whatever you desire, your benediction, you get it, that's it. But Krishna gives personal attention. And then he actually helps you to advance in your spiritual life, like that. And demigods, these are the, the followers, and then their boons are, after some time, the boons will vanish, and then you will again, end up with nothing, like that. But Krishna, he takes direct interest in your life. And then, he is actually there, we read in 22nd verse, no? Yogakshemam Mahamyam. So he's there always to protect us, to give us whatever we need. He, what is that verse says, he preserve what we have, and he give what we lack. Like that, he is always there to do that for us. Yeah. Anything else anyone wants to ask or add or share? I think we have gone over time. I don't know if we have. So Mataji sir here. The raising hand is for reciting, maybe, not for question or anything.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay. This verse is a beautiful verse, and I hope you all nice verse to meditate on until tomorrow. All good, Matajis?
Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
Mataji. Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Mataji. Thank you for the wonderful class.
For giving me this opportunity to read together. No questions, right? All good?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.